Do you know that a woman is capable of torturing a man with her cruelties and mockeries, and will not feel remorse even once, because she thinks to herself each time she looks at you, now I'll torture him to death, but later I'll make up for it with my love. Rogozhin, having listened to the prince, burst out laughing. And have you happened upon such a woman yourself, prince? I've heard a little something about you, if it's true. What could you have heard? The prince suddenly shook and stopped in extreme embarrassment. Rogozhin went on laughing. He had listened to the prince not without curiosity and perhaps not without pleasure. The prince's joyful and ardent enthusiasm greatly struck and encouraged him. I've not only heard it, but I see now that it's true, he added. Well, when did you ever talk the way you do now? That kind of talk doesn't seem to come from you at all. If I hadn't heard as much about you, I wouldn't have come here, and to the park, at midnight, besides. I don't understand you at all, Parfen Semyonich. She explained to me about you long ago, and now today I saw it myself, the way you were sitting at the music with the other one. She swore to me by God, yesterday and today, that you're in love like a tomcat with Aglaya Epanchin. It makes no difference to me, Prince, and it's none of my business, even if you don't love her anymore, she still loves you. You know, she absolutely wants you to marry that girl, she gave me her word on it, hey. She says to me, without that I won't marry you. They go to church, and we go to church. What it's all about, I can't understand and never could. Either she loves you no end, or, but if she loves you, why does she want you to marry another woman? She says, I want to see him happy, so that means she loves you. I told you and wrote to you that she's not in her right mind, said the prince, having listened to Rogozhin with suffering. Lord knows. You may be mistaken about that, anyhow. Today she set the date for me, when I brought her home from the music, in 3 weeks, and maybe sooner, she says, we'll certainly get married, she swore to me, took down an icon, kissed it. So, Prince, now it's up to you, hey. That's all raving. What you're saying about me will never never happen. I'll come to you tomorrow. What kind of mad woman is she? Observed Rogozhin. How is it she's in her right mind for everybody else, and for you alone she's crazy? How is it she writes letters there? If she's a madwoman, it would have been noticed there from her letters. What letters? The prince asked in alarm. She writes there, to that one, and she reads them. Don't you know? Well, then you will, she's sure to show you herself. That's impossible to believe, cried the prince. Lev Nikolaich, it must be you haven't gone very far down that path yet, as far as I can see, you're just at the beginning. Wait a while, you'll hire your own police, you'll keep watch yourself day and night, and know every step they make there, if only. Drop it and never speak of it again, cried the prince. Listen, Perfione, I was walking here just now before you came and suddenly began to laugh, I didn't know what about, but the reason was that I remembered that tomorrow, as if on purpose, is my birthday. It's nearly midnight now. Let's go and meet the day. I have some wine, we'll drink wine, you must wish me something I myself don't know how to wish for now, and it's precisely you who must wish it, and I'll wish you your fullest happiness. Or else give me back my cross. You didn't send it back to me the next day. You're wearing it? Wearing it even now? I am, said Rogozhin. Come on, then. I don't want to meet my new life without you, because my new life has begun. Don't you know, Perfione, that my new life begins today? Now I myself see and know that it's begun, and I'll report it to her. You're not yourself at all, Lev Nikolaich. 4. As he approached his dacha with Rogozhin, the prince noticed with extreme astonishment that a noisy and numerous society had gathered on his brightly lit terrace. The merry company was laughing, shouting, it seemed they were even arguing loudly, one would have suspected at first glance that they were having quite a joyful time of it. And indeed, going up onto the terrace, he saw that they were all drinking, and drinking champagne, and it seemed they had been at it for quite a while, so that many of the revelers had managed to become quite pleasantly animated. The guests were all acquaintances of the prince, but it was strange that they had all gathered at once, as if they had been invited, though the prince had not invited anyone, and he himself had only just chanced to remember about his birthday. You must have told somebody you'd stand them to champagne, so they came running, Rogojin muttered, following the prince up onto the terrace. That point we know, just whistle to them, he added almost with spite, remembering, of course, his recent past. They all met the prince with shouts and good wishes, and surrounded him. Some were very noisy, others much quieter, but they all hastened to congratulate him, having heard about his birthday, and each one waited his turn. The prince found the presence of some persons curious, Verdovsky's, for instance, but the most astonishing thing was that amidst this company Evgeny Pavlovitch suddenly turned up. The prince could hardly believe his eyes and was almost frightened when he saw him. Meanwhile Lebedev, flushed and nearly ecstatic, ran up to him with explanations. He was rather well loaded. From his babble it turned out that they had all gathered quite naturally and even accidentally. First of all, towards evening, Hippolyte had come and, feeling much better, had wanted to wait for the prince on the terrace.